In 2026, the American dream has become a logistical nightmare for the essential workers who keep society running. We are witnessing the rise of the service desert, a phenomenon where hyper-wealthy enclaves have become so expensive that teachers, police officers, and firefighters are forced into mega-commutes of 90 minutes or more. In these 11 towns, the median home price has decoupled so entirely from municipal salaries that a starting police officer's yearly pay wouldn't cover a down payment on a broom closet. When the helpers can no longer afford to live among those they help, the social fabric begins to unravel. Here are the 11 U.S. towns where the service desert crisis has reached a breaking point in 2026. 1. Aspen, Colorado. The reality. In 2026, Aspen has transitioned from a ski town to a billionaire's fortress. The median home price has soared past $5 million, while a starting teacher's salary hovers around $60,000. This disparity has created a commuting class that travels from as far as Rifle, nearly 70 miles away. To combat the exodus, the city has resorted to building tiny home villages specifically for municipal staff. However, with limited mountain acreage, the waitlist for affordable employee housing is now 8 years long. Most officers and educators spend their careers as tourists in their own workplace, leaving the valley before sunset. 2. Palo Alto, California. The reality. The heart of Silicon Valley is now a residential dead zone for public servants. With a median net worth in the city exceeding $1.7 million, even a double-income household of a veteran cop and a senior teacher cannot qualify for a standard mortgage. In 2026, the Palo Alto Unified School District is reporting a 25% vacancy rate for staff positions. Many educators live in mobile home parks or co-living pods in cheaper outlying counties. The result is a ghost suburb where the people educating the next generation of tech titans have no stake in the local community. 3. Nantucket, Massachusetts. The reality. Life on the Gray Lady in 2026 is defined by the Great Ferry Commute. Because the average home price on the island has hit $4 million, nearly 40% of the island's essential workforce must commute by boat from the mainland. During winter storms, when ferries are canceled, Nantucket effectively loses its police force and teaching staff, forcing the town to maintain expensive emergency barracks. The island has become a seasonal shell, where the locals are actually commuters who spend 4 hours a day on the water just to serve a community they can never call home. 4. Jackson Hole, Wyoming. The reality. Jackson Hole has become the ultimate equity trap. In 2026, the influx of remote work executives has pushed the entry-level home price to $3.5 million. Wyoming's lack of income tax attracts the ultra-wealthy, but fails to generate the municipal revenue needed to subsidize worker housing. Police recruits often quit after 6 months when they realize their only housing option is a shared bunkhouse or a van in a Forest Service lot. This Wild West. Inflation has turned the town into a luxury resort where the wait for a 911 response is growing as officers live further across the Teton Pass. 5. East Hampton, New York. The reality. The Hamptons service desert is so severe in 2026 that the town board has authorized the use of luxury trailers for police housing on municipal lots. Even with a 2026 budget that increased police pay to 6 figures, the cost of a modest ranch house, now $2.5 million, remains an impossibility. Teachers are increasingly seasonal, leaving the district as soon as they find work in more affordable upstate regions. The social divide is stark. The people who protect the multi-million-dollar estates spend their shifts guarding homes they could not afford to rent for a single month. 6. San Francisco, California. The reality. San Francisco's 2026 teacher strike highlighted a grim milestone. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment now consumes 70% of a starting educator's take-home pay. While the city remains a global tech hub, its public services are hollowed out. Most SFPD officers now live in the Central Valley, leading to a sleep-deprived force that spends 3 hours a day on I-80. The city is experimenting with teacher dorms on old district land, but these institutional living arrangements are a far cry from the suburban family life most public servants expected when they entered their professions. 7. Santa Barbara, California. The reality, often called the American Riviera, Santa Barbara is beautiful but economically brutal for the middle class. In 2026, the service desert is expanding into the healthcare sector, with nurses and paramedics joining teachers in a mass exodus to Santa Maria. The city's geography, tucked between mountains and sea, prevents suburban expansion, keeping inventory at near zero. Public safety officials warn that in the event of a major wildfire or earthquake, the city's first responders would be trapped on the wrong side of the 101 freeway, unable to reach the very people they are paid to protect. 8. Greenwich, Connecticut. The reality. Greenwich has long been the gold standard for hedge fund wealth, but in 2026, its public schools are increasingly staffed by people who have never set foot in a local grocery store. A veteran teacher with 20 years of experience still finds the median home price of $2.8 million laughable. The town has attempted to implement work-live zoning, but local NIMBY, not in my backyard, opposition has blocked most high-density projects. Consequently, the service desert here is a cultural one. The town's heroes are invisible ghosts who disappear into the New York or northern Connecticut suburbs the moment the clock hits 4 p.m. 9. Jupiter, Florida. The reality. Once a quiet fishing village, Jupiter has become the 2026 billionaires' playground of the South. The surge in Florida property insurance rates, combined with a $1.5 million median home price, has priced out the Palm Beach County workforce. Jupiter's police department has started offering housing stipends, but even an extra $1,000 a month doesn't bridge the gap when a basic townhouse costs $800,000. Teachers in 2026 are increasingly taking second jobs in the gig economy just to pay for the gas needed for their 50-mile commutes from cheaper inland counties. 10. Boulder, Colorado. The reality. Boulder's Greenbelt policy, while environmentally noble, has created an artificial land scarcity that has detonated the housing market. In 2026, the average home costs $1.4 million, while the city's progressive tax structure hasn't kept pace with the needs of the working class. The Boulder bubble is now a service desert where the only people living in the city limits are tech workers and students. Teachers are forced to live in commuter towns like Longmont, which are themselves becoming unaffordable. The city is facing a caretaker crisis, where those who keep the city safe and educated feel like outsiders in their own community. 11. Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. The reality. Like Nantucket, the Vineyard in 2026 is a land of the millionaire and the commuter. The island's housing trust is working overtime to build apartment clusters, but it's a drop in the ocean. The 2026 police exam saw a record low number of applicants, as young officers realize that a career on the island means a lifetime of living in a basement or a shared rental with 5 other people. The service desert here has led to a decline in volunteer fire departments and local civic organizations, as the people with the time and heart to serve can no longer afford the price of admission. The 2026 service desert is the final stage of suburban gentrification. When we price out the people who teach our children and patrol our streets, we aren't just changing the neighborhood's economics, we are changing its safety and its soul.